I give it 2 brown stars.
Wow. Wow. Okay, a 10, as we've said before. John gives it a 10. You're not leaving yourself room for that next great thing.
It's tied with, movies like Life of Brian and The Godfather for me. It is.
You stole my comment, man.
It is right up there. I copied your comment.
Yeah. I was going to mention, when I mentioned Life of Brian and Godfather as my personal 2 first things that came to mind for 10 movies, this is another thing. I didn't remember it, and overall, one of my favorite movies of all time.
Personally, it wasn't horrible, but there are just too many flaws to overlook, and overall, I'd say I'd have to give it negative, so I had to go less than 5, but like I said, it wasn't that bad, so I gave it 4.5.
Okay, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
I mean, you're clearly out of sync with the rest of the room here, and obviously there is this. I don't know what the box office on this thing was.
It's the highest grossing film of all time in Japan.
Okay, in Japan, but in this country, because we
noted Disney didn't push it because they didn't have the toy.
We noted the cultural thing though, but
right. It's the number 1 selling anime of all time at Amazon, for example.
Okay, so but again, that's anime. It's not up against.
It's not even up against The Lion King, for example, which probably is undoubtedly higher, or Toy Story.
But nonetheless, other people are really really digging it. So, do you have any second guessing yourself on that?
Not at all. I guess I could see how a certain audience could like it. It's not for me at all, and I don't like it. There are flaws, and some people.
What would you give us a flaw? Give us a.
They kept getting sidetracked from the plot. Like I said, the girl was not believable, and also they kept including random stuff, which was a little goofy and got like a chuckle out of me at first, but they kept throwing it at us, and
this is, I guess, why they make a whole bunch of different movies and for different people, and so fair enough. Lachlan.
The average rating is 8.5, by the way.
In what?
Of 10. America.
Rotten Tomatoes?
No, Rotten Tomatoes is 97 point approval rating, and I forget, it's 8.5 there, but it's also 8.5 on several other, on all of the first page websites.
Now, the only thing I got to question is I hate statistics for this reason, because it's a self-selected audience. In other words, if you're a horror movie fan, you don't go and you don't buy this thing. If you're an anime fan, you have it. It's going to...
Absolutely.
Obviously.
May I? Yes. I give it 2 brown stars. I didn't have a gold marker. And I give it a 9.7, which is a 10. Obviously, since I heard Alan, and then I heard you a little bit talking about, slight flaws, but I can't give it a 10. I wish I could.
All right,
I would, but obviously...
Well, again, I think it's reasonable to give yourself some room to put the next one in there just a tad higher. Or something.
I can find flaws in The Godfather, tons of them. Can't.
I think, personally, the one... I would rate Life of Brian as a 10, but it's definitely not a perfect movie. There are definitely flaws in it.
Means. It is a hilarious one.
It's hilarious, and it's absolutely well made, but it's not perfect. But what
we're done off on
but the movie I've seen the most often, I've seen it hundreds of times. Casablanca, an absolute 10 for me.
10.
But
flawed.
Oh my God! Let's talk about the happy scene in Paris with the happy
it's
car.
Ridiculous. It destroys the whole
it's
thing.
So terrible, but it doesn't matter because the whole rest of it is so good, and it does what it does.
Because the plot is brilliant. The problem I had here was with the plot.
Well,
that's your opinion.
The thing
is,
I can find plot.
There are a lot of movies where it's easy to say, sorry, your opinion isn't that good. But with something like this, saying your opinion is wrong is completely arbitrary, as this movie is a very open to interpretation movie and open to
And it's-
opinion.
it
So
definitely
I will
depends
not
on
discredit
what
your
kind of
opinion at
movie
all.
you like.
Different choices, and I think you backed up what he said. All right, I think we're done, but this
Right.
sets a high bar for Alan because he's picking the next one, right? So now you've got to impress these guys.
Yes, you do.
So there you are.
If you get us to give like 9, 10s, then
Well, you don't have
you
to.
win.
You know, well, it isn't a matter of winning, and it's not one upping each
It's
other.
like what I was.
It's respecting each
It's-
other's opinions. and I think that's-
It's bringing something to share, and I think
Yeah, and
Yeah.
to that extent, Andrew, thank you for bringing something that was important to you and sharing.
No problem.
So that's a good deal.
Always a pleasure to view this.